Hey everybody, this is Azureth Strife from Top Deck Cards and Games. Back after quite a brief hiatus with a new deck check. This is a deck that I actually played at the Last Chance qualifier at Worlds. I was on Ruthless Goku for a while, up until about 2 days before the LCQ. I put this list together. Felt it had a really good matchup against the format that I was expecting. So against Goku, has a lot of counters to Goku. And Roshi. So I have my Saiyan Dynamic Brawly. I had a lot of questions of why Dynamic Brawly, what I did to make this work. The real reason is because Dynamic lets you start on Brawly level 2. And starting on Brawly level 2 is huge in a lot of matchups. I don't think there's a single matchup where I wouldn't want to start on 2. Just having that level punishing, the extra +2 stages of damage on all your physical attacks, and having the board control, huge in the Retribution matchup. And just Saiyan's card pool was just really, really exceptional for this format. So that's why I chose this, and I'm actually very, very happy with how it performed. We ended up going 5-3, lost to 3 Ruthless Gokus who drew the nuts. I just couldn't draw all of my answers in time. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the meat of the deck. First off, I only run 2 planning phase cards. 2 Viz in the past. That's it. I want this deck to be not necessarily a face beats deck, but I wanted it to be as pressure-centric as I could. So I ended up just going 2 Visit in the past. Gives me a lot of buffer on the defensive, and also I can offensively visit for whatever I would need in my discard pile. Now into the events of the deck. 1 Time is Warrior's Tool. I don't really need to say much more about this card. 3 Saiyan Outrage. Saiyan's Omniblock searches out an attached card, which is really nice. Not much to say. Just another Omniblock that I really wanted to have in the deck, just to give me some more buffer. This is a change that I actually made. I was originally only running 3 Villainous Energy Spheres. I'm sorry, I was originally only running 2, but I since cut Saiyan Ki Burst for the 3rd sphere. Ki Burst just didn't do anything for me. When I had it, it was never effective, and when I needed it, it was only a 1-of, so I never found it. So I cut it for the 3rd sphere to be a bit more reactive to the Unleashed turns. Running 3 Stare Downs. What can I say? Stare Down is just so good. This card was one of my MVPs all weekend. Just stare downing crucial cards in their hand, setting me up for big turns was very important, and getting just their hand knowledge. And then to counteract Goku, I also run my own set of Unleashed. I don't run as many attached cards as I did originally in this variation of the deck, but still, having Unleashed to bounce from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, really important since the Dynamic Mastery has that 6 cap anger to level. Just going up, once I've used Brawly 2 enough to clear Orange's board, where I feel safe, I can Unleash up to 3, and then just have that extra physical attack that's drawing me a card every turn. Really happy with the 3 Unleashed in there. Gonna go ahead into my blocks. Running 2 copies of Saiyan Escape. Very bland in this deck. It's literally just stop a physical with 3 endurance. I never get the discard effect because I have no cards that actually have me discard a card from my hand. It's literally, these were originally Saiyan Flip, and I misplayed too much with Saiyan Flip that I didn't really like it in the deck, and it's just not really good in this format, so I went with the Saiyan Escape. 2 copies of Saiyan Uncatch. 2 endurance, gain an anger, stop a physical. Which is really nice. I would have liked to have it at a 3-of, but the 3-of physical block that I have, I felt was more important. So that's why I only ran this as a 2-of. My 3-of physical block was Saiyan Parry, which is from the new set. I love this card. Really great with Dynamic because most of the time early, I'm going to be a higher personality level than them. So it's a double block. So it really just gives me more flexibility on what I can enter combat with, and just kind of save myself some damage. Then another new card, Saiyan Crouch. Stop an energy attack. 2 endurance. There's a lot of endurance in this deck. Attaches to your MP, and while it's attached, your POR is +3, which is really great for Brawly because Brawly's power levels scale down so hard. And it rejuvenates when you change levels, so I can Unleash, go get it, and it's like I didn't lose a card from my deck. There are cards where I'm okay going and getting this, or just not having it in the deck, like against Hercule, because it's like, okay, well, they're not going to throw energy attacks because they can't. So, now we're going to get into the attacks of the deck. These are the attacks. It's a Brawly deck, so there's going to be a lot of attacks. So first off, running 1 copy of Saiyan Tracking Blast. This is an Unleashed target. Really helpful in the Unleashed battle, because if I go and Unleashed for Saiyan Tracking Blast, they can't Unleash me back down. I actually made a misplay this weekend where I went for Flip to lower them down instead of going for Tracking Blast and being able to stay on level 3. It ended up costing me part of the reason why I lost that game. I'd like to bump this up to 2, but I don't really know where to make room for it, so... a new card that I'm trying out that I really like how it's been testing. I cut 2 Saiyan Dominations for 2 Saiyan Face-Offs. So Richie actually gave me the idea to start running this card. It's a stare down on an attack. Like, yeah, they get to look at your hand and pick a card, but you're picking their best card for most likely another AT +3 physical attack from your hand. Your Brawly, you're going to have a lot of attacks. They're probably going to eat this one too. AT +3 and hit effects that end combat can't be used that turn. So it's not card effects, it's effects. So it gets around parentheticals as well. So awesome card, very happy with the change. I'd like to find a way to get this to a 3 of, so I can effectively have 6 stare downs in my deck, 3 of them on an attack. But I'm still working on how to fit that in. 2 copies of Saiyan Left Kick, 1 endurance, AT life card physical attack, raising your anger. Not much to say about this. It's a very bland attack, but it's a very powerful attack. This is probably on my chopping block if I was going to cut anything. But I don't know where I would want to put the 2 extra slots. Maybe 1 Tracking Blast and 1 extra face-off. Might be how I go with that. 2 copies of Saiyan Backbreaker. I run a lot of attached cards, and we are in attached card format. So this card is very good. Just being able to shuffle in either one of my attached cards or a Tracking Blast, a Rebuke, something like that, so that it can stay in play to be used twice. It's only AT +1, but with Brawly, you're going to be swinging for 4, 5, 6, up to 10. So this card's awesome. Double Anger as well. I actually was able to level off of a Backbreaker into level 4, or into level 3, have enough cards in my hand to trigger the level 3 where I could draw another card, and I ended up just sealing the game that turn. Another tech choice that I'm running that a lot of people don't really think about is 2 Saiyan copies of Saiyan Stomach Thrust. I first read this card and I was like, oh, and then I started rereading it and seeing how the format was shaping up, and I really, really liked this card. This card punishes the checkup loop, it punishes Retribution, it punishes Goku, especially Ruthless Goku. So it's a 5-stage physical attack, so on Brawly 2, 7, Brawly 3, 8, but whenever a card enters play under your opponent's control, they mill 3. So that counts for double attacks, double blocks, and attached cards are the big ones, along with the drills. So this really can add up and really put your opponent in awkward situations of, do I want to set this loop off? Do I want to use my Trailing Blast engine? Can really just put your opponent in a sticky situation, which I really like. A lot of 2-ofs. 2-ofs, Devastating Blow. Lower 2 anger. Physical attack gives you an anger. Discard pile. Hate is still a really underappreciated thing. So I'm very happy that I was running 2 of these. These were pretty big in some of my matches. 2 copies of I'll Dig Your Grave. Flat Stick Sage Physical. Unpreventable damage. So good. And this also combos with another card that I'm going to get into later in the deck that a lot of Saiyan players already know the combo that I'm talking about. I actually got to pull this off on stream against a very respected player at the LCQ, so I was very happy that I had those in there. Now we get to two of the other reasons why you play Brawly. 2 copies of Brawly's Face Crusher. Now a lot of people are going to be like, why don't you run 3 of these? Because my personal experience with this card is I whiff on this card a lot more times than I want to. I was also cutting I was trying to cut, and 2 actually really worked for the deck. 10 endurance, huge. Like, it can just completely nullify an entire attack. And just being able to chain into more attacks is really great. And the hit 2 anger is actually amazing because of this mastery. Needing 6 anger, I've actually been able to hard anger from 3 to 4 because of Face Crusher. So I'm very happy that I was running that as well. I'm happy with the 2 choice. I don't think I would want to bump it to a 3. 2 copies of Brawly's Eraser Cannon. I didn't need 3. This is more board control comboed with level 2. This gives me all I need. Also, a free energy attack for 5 stages is great. 3 wall breakers. Strictly for Roshi. I was running 2 at first. The night before the LCQ, I decided to switch out Saiyan Strength Test for a 3rd wall breaker, and it paid off huge for me. I was seeing wall breaker when I needed it, having that extra copy. If it got banished, I ended up having a 2nd one. So I'm very happy that I have the 3 copies in here. And also with Brawly, it's not a weak physical. It still hits like a truck. Coming around to my major MVP of the entire weekend, Saiyan Severing Punch. This card is amazing. Like, holy smokes. I did not realize how amazing this was until I started playing with this deck, and in this format. So until the end of your next turn, this was the part that I didn't realize. I didn't realize the immediate effect was until the end of your next turn as well. So until the end of your next turn, your opponent cannot gain more than 1 anger from card effects. With Retribution Mastery and all of the 2 anger cards that Roshi plays, this is ridiculous. AT plus 4 stages, so it's a beefy physical, and hit until the end of your opponent's until the end of your next turn. So still until the end of your next turn, your opponent can't use effects that advance or lower MP's 1 level. This is my Goku counter primarily. I have had Gokus not know what this does, and they've actually unleashed into it while it's active. They went to search for their attach card, they went to advance, and I told them, nope, you can't advance. This was my MVP. This card is amazing, and it will never not be a 3 of. Staple Saiyan Brawly card, 3 Saiyan grabs. AT stages, if you're more powerful than your opponent's personality, it's unstoppable. Hit, draw card. No reason not to run 3 of these. 3 Saiyan Spin Kicks, not as relevant as it used to be, but having the Ally Destroy is very nice for a lot of Gohan builds. I actually played against the Tag Ginyu in my first round, so I was very happy to have these. AT plus 3 stages, it's, again, nice with 2 endurance. Gives you an anger, it's a 2 anger swing because you lower your opponent's anger. All around good card. I like this card. 3 copies of Saiyan Tantrum. Again, another Saiyan Brawly staple. I played this as an attack twice all weekend. It is mainly there for the reveal effect of getting a crit. And hit, rejuve 3. They're mostly going to be holding physical blocks against you, so you throw an energy attack for 6 life. It's pretty nice. And 3 copies of Saiyan Trample. This is the other part of the combo with I'll Dig Your Grave. So after the next time your opponent advances an MP level, they set their power stages to 0. With Brawly 2 and 3, whenever they advance, they lose 7 stages. So if you set them to 0, and then they mill 7. I actually got to do that on a dig turn, where I had Trample active, I hit with Dig, I leveled us up, and he took 15 unpreventable damage. And then it does AT plus AT stages, so Brawly's high AT plus his modifiers. Really great card. Love these. Love this card as well. Also really good to stopping Goku because a lot, like the Ruthless Goku relies on stages to do the Trailing Blast engine. So if you deny him those stages, really, really big. So that's the list of my dynamic Brawly. Kind of went over some of the changes that I would want to make, or that I've already made. Only things I lost to at the LCQ were Ruthless Goku, actually. As much Goku tech as I pack, I just couldn't do anything against nut draws. You can answer, if you don't answer all 3 Unleashed, you're going to lose. I was only able to answer 2 in every game. I was up 30 cards on 1 and ended up getting decked in 1 turn. That was rough. There were some misplays that I made in that game, absolutely. The games were winnable. But when I lost, there was nothing that I could have done. But yeah, so that's all for this deck tech. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, Azereth Strife. Leave a comment below. I do check these. If you're in the area, we have Dragon Ball Z tournaments every weekend on Saturdays. So please come out, have some fun, and just have fun, guys.